What is going on, guys? Welcome to Geek Muscle. I am your host, Drew. So, summer is right around the corner. Well, even though it's May, so it's technically spring. But anyways, it feels like summer. It's hot. We're pretty much around the time where school's ending, people are graduating, and it's also the time where a bunch of people are wanting to jump back into getting back into their goals before the summer. Why do I say again? Well, pretty much because a lot of people tried to do that back in January, all the new year, new me people, and they didn't come through with it. So now is the perfect time to do those last minute pumps to look great for the summer. But hey, I'm not judging you, things happen. So yeah, we're at a time where a lot of beginners are wanting to jump back into the gym, but they make a lot of mistakes that keep them from reaching their goals. So today I want to talk to you about a couple of the mistakes that I tend to see beginners make at the gym and why it's important to avoid them. Not only do I see this at the gym all the time, but I myself made these mistakes back when I started. So I'm giving you a bit of a lesson here based on, personal experience. So disclaimer about this list I'm about to talk about, it doesn't apply to every single type of beginner, because I know there's people that are fresh young guys or fresh young women that are just starting off at the gym, or it's probably older crowds that they just want to go back into the gym for a healthier lifestyle. All right, let's kick it off with the first mistake, and that is people that skip the warm-up and stretching. So this, I see it quite a lot at the gym, and I'm sure you have as well, where people just come into the gym, they scan their card, and they head straight into the weights or to the machines, and they don't do proper stretching, or they don't even do a warm-up. Primarily because it's just ignorance. They probably don't even know the importance of warm-up and stretching. They probably think it's some sort of hippie that's really not going to do anything, which is totally wrong. You need to start off with some light cardio for a couple of minutes, followed by some dynamic stretching before you actually go and work out. Because look, if you go straight into whatever workouts are you going to do, whether it's bench press or back squats or just dumbbell presses, curls, whatever, you name it. Because look, here's the thing, if you don't stretch, your muscles are pretty much tense. And with your muscles being tense, you're not going to be able to do as much as you can actually do, your potential. And in addition to that, it can lead to injury as well, because you need to warm up and stretch to get the blood flowing in the muscles. That's why you need to start off with something light, whether it's some light cardio followed by some light workouts that are similar to what you're gonna do later on, just to get the blood flowing, get your body heated up a bit. Don't neglect stretching and don't neglect warm-ups. You need it for any type of training whatsoever. Okay, so the next mistake, I see it way too much with the younger crowds, and that is that they buy an insane amount of supplements right away and expect crazy results within weeks. So this mistake is really, really common, because I see it more with the high schoolers and the young college guys, because they have the idea that, I'm just gonna go to the gym and gonna make some gains, and I want, they have this bro science mentality that they need to get, a stack of supplements in order to be big. For one, that's not necessarily true, but two, you are just buying, without properly thinking about what you need. You're just buying a bunch of stacks, whether it's a bunch of creatine, a bunch of protein, mass gainers, you name it, and they expect to get big in a matter of weeks, which for one, it's not going to work, but two, you don't know exactly what you're putting in your body. Whatever you put in your body, whether it's supplements or a diet, it needs to be applicable to your goals, which also goes hand in hand with the type of training that you're doing. So if you're gonna be a guy that you just want to get cut, you want to get really shredded up, you can't expect to just go to the store and buy a bunch of creatine and buy especially mass gainers, which are probably gonna make you gain weight, buy a bunch of other stuff and expect to get big and expect all these results right away. For one, it's not gonna work because you don't know exactly what you're putting in your body. You're just, without thinking, just assuming that supplements are gonna help you reach your goals even faster. If you're gonna choose to buy supplements, do your research first and make sure that whatever you buy, it goes hand in hand with whatever goal that you may have, and it goes hand in hand with your diet and your overall training. Because look, I made that mistake too when I started. I thought that, okay, yeah, I'm doing exercise and everything, I'm starting off, so what's the next step? I should just go to the supplement store and buy a bunch of protein, and that's gonna make me look big within the next month, which, spoiler alert, it doesn't, especially if you don't know exactly what you're putting in your body. Look, just do your research before you even consider spending almost over $100 on supplements. Do your research first and really know what you're putting inside your body, because supplements affect other people in different ways. So some stuff may work for one guy or girl, but it may not work for you, or vice versa. Some stuff may work for you, it may not work for someone else. So that's why I'm telling you, like, do your research, and also make sure that, you know, talk to your physician, make sure to your doctor, and make sure that that you're healthy, you're good, and you're able to take any sort of type of supplements. All right, so the next mistake is not having a specific regimen built, not having a program specifically to your goals organized. A lot of people just go to the gym and they just train randomly. They train spontaneously. They do train whatever it is, whether it's with machines or with free weights or cables, or they just spend an hour or two in the treadmill, but they're not organized. They don't have consistency. They're not having periodization in their program. And you need this to keep track of your results. Whatever your type of goals that you may have, whether it's weight loss or getting a little bit more leaner, or wanting to put on more size, getting stronger, any sort of goal that you may have, you need to have consistency, and you need to have a periodization going on with your program. You need to keep track of whatever it is that you're doing. You need to keep track of numbers. You need to keep track of the type of workouts, the amount of workouts, the volume, everything. You need to keep having it tracked down through your program. A lot of people make the mistake of just going to the gym and doing literally the exact same thing. I see it a lot in the gym, where they scan their card, they go to the treadmill, and then they do the elliptical, and then they go to the machines, they do a couple of the machines, and then they go home. The next day I see them again, and they do literally the exact same thing. Doing the exact same thing every single day, you're just fatiguing your body more and more. You've hit plateaus to the point that you can even get yourself hurt. You're not moving forward. In order to make optimal gains, you need to go through a period of stress, and you need to overload the body. That's how you make gains. You can't expect to do literally the same thing every single day and expect to, whatever results you may want, because your body just got used to it. Yeah, maybe at first you saw that, hey, this was tiring and it felt good, and I see a little bit of changes. But if you keep doing literally the same thing past 4 weeks, you've hit a plateau. You're not feeling anything. Your body's not gonna react the same way anymore. And once you reach plateaus, that's it. You need to move on. You need to take that next step, whether it's with weight or increasing the intensities. You need to do that, because that's the only way you're gonna make gains. Again, overload. All right, the next big mistake that I see is the lack of a proper diet. Okay, so I see this quite a lot with beginners, and it's understandable. Not everybody's knowledgeable when it comes to nutrition and dieting. More specifically with younger people, I see that they have this idea that, oh, well, as long as I go to the gym every single day, I can eat whatever I want, which, newsflash, not true. Even if you're thin, you need to have a specific diet that complies with your program. Because eventually your metabolism will slow down, but hey, then that's when you're gonna, everything that you eat, and that mentality is gonna catch up to you. You're gonna gain weight, and you're really not gonna go anywhere after that unless you make a real change as far as dieting. For weight loss, it's obvious you need to cut back on calories. You need to go through a calorie deficit. But a lot of people have this idea that, you need to cut out food entirely, which is dangerous. A lot of people that want to lose weight, and I see this quite a lot, I've seen it with a couple of clients, that they would pretty much live off of reducing the calorie amount, but to a very dangerous level. And that's where it's not good. You still need to eat. A lot of people, just because they want to lose weight, they keep themselves from eating food, and they get dizzy, drowsy, and it affects them at the gym, it affects them at work, or even by just standing up. It's not healthy. Even if you're trying to get thinner, you still need to eat, but you need to know exactly what to eat. Okay? Having a calorie deficit doesn't mean stop eating. Otherwise, that would turn into an eating disorder. Whether you're trying to lose some weight or you're actually trying to put on more muscle size or just get toned, make sure you have the right diet plan. Talk to somebody, talk to a nutritionist, let them know what you're trying to do and they'll help you out. Don't have this idea that, hey, I can eat whatever I want as long as I go to the gym, because it's not true. You still need a good diet. You still need to know exactly what you're putting into your body. Because even in addition to that, why would you want to eat a bunch of junk food before you train? I mean, it's happened to me before I even knew about all this, that I would eat, buffalo wings and fries or burritos, you name it. And then probably like an hour or two later, I would go to the gym and I would just feel heavy. You feel sluggish. You're just burping the entire time and you're just not there. You're just feeling really just want to go home. So why would you want to do that to yourself? That's why it's better to eat clean and you're going to feel great. Simple as that. All right, the next mistake, and this one is very, very common, and that is that people neglect their least favorite muscle parts. So, okay, before I even get ahead on this one, I'm just going off by what I've seen, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen it, for the most part with males and females. A lot of guys neglect doing lower body because of masculinity, and they just want to look really tough at the gym. They specifically focus on chest, back, arms. Women do the contrary. They neglect upper body almost entirely, and they just do legs, core, glutes. And keep in mind, I'm just talking about beginners, okay? I'm just talking about people that are just got their memberships and they just starting off with their goals, okay? I'm not talking about everybody, obviously. The thing is with that is they're forgetting the main reason why they're even at the gym. You're there to train. Just hear that word right. Train. You're there to train. That means to improve onto something where you might not be good at, to get better at it. Why would you want to go to the gym and just train the stuff that you're good at, the muscle parts that you feel comfortable with, and neglect where you're not good at? You're completely forgetting the main point of you even being there. If you're not good with leg workouts, train them. Work out on them. You have to start somewhere. Even if it's with light weight, you got to start. Nobody's there to judge you. If you're not good with upper body workouts like bench press or rows or curls, whatever. If you're not good with any type of or a specific type of upper body workout, well, train them. And I understand it's very common, obviously women want to go there to get their legs looking better and their glutes. That's a lot of women, that's the main reason why they want to go, or have a strong core, have nice abs. And for men, they just want to look tougher from their upper body, have a big chest, broad shoulders, a nice back. I get it, but you need to have it equal. And I see this with a lot of young people just going to the gym too right after school, that they just go straight into the free weights or the bench press or the machines for the upper body, and they're just doing curls or chest or back. But I rarely ever see them do legs. Or vice versa with women. They just go and do squats, leg press, or the leg kickback machine, or hip abductors. But they neglect, whatever they're not good at or whatever they're just not so familiar with. They just neglect that almost entirely, which is not good. You're really forgetting the main point where you're even there. Next big mistake, which is similar to an earlier mistake, and that is skipping the cool down. This one is very, very important because it also deals with your safety. You need to cool down right when you finished having a vigorous workout. You need to cool down right away. You need to get your heart rate back down to resting levels, and you can't just go outside right away. Just have a You can't just have a really intense workout and then all of a sudden just stop almost entirely and go home. It's not safe at all. Don't neglect the cool down. Always remember to stretch after you train and go to the treadmill, do some steady state walking for 5 minutes. Just make sure your heart rate just goes back down slowly back to resting levels. And once you feel good, then you can head out. Don't just head out right away following an intense workout. That's like a big no-no. Okay, the next mistake is staying on the machines almost entirely. Now I get it, it could be intimidating going into the weights, especially if you see really athletic experts or intermediates lifting weights and, you know, showing off their muscles. I get it, it could be intimidating, but don't feel like they're there to judge you. Everybody there, they're doing their own thing. Just, you know, that whatever person you may be intimidated by, they have their mindset on something. They probably are going through their own struggles similar as you. So why even pay attention to that? If you just stay on the machines for the entire time, again, it goes back to plateaus and fatiguing. But if you're just staying on a machine, you're just relying on 1 or 2 ranges of motion and you're not really going all out. You're not training your stability enough. And when it comes to doing workouts you're not used to that do require those things, you're not gonna be good at it, you can get hurt. So that's why it's important to train it. Now, I'm not saying machines are not good for you. Of course they're good for you. Everybody does machines. But you need to have a balance. You need, especially if you're focusing on strength training, you need to focus primarily on weight training. Weight training, cables, and machines. You need to have a balance of all 3. Okay? Don't focus entirely just on one, especially if it's the machines. I mean, you could, you know, in theory, you could just do weights and cables as far as stringing your set. Don't be intimidated by them. Just, you know, do your own thing. And remember, you need to have a balance. You need to have a balance with free weights, cables, and the machines. That's how you make gains. You can't just stick to one and then do literally the same thing. Again, see how these mistakes relate to each other? Like this relates to doing the same thing over and over, relates to fatiguing. That's what the type of thing I'm talking about is like, you need to have a variety in your training. You need to have that overload, that stress, that challenge. You need to go through stability, you need to go through balance, and you know, that's why you need to work on other stuff. You need to focus on other type of exercises that require free weights, others that require cables, others that may require band training, you know, different modalities. But primarily when I'm talking about a gym, don't stick to just the machines. While they may be good for you to some extent, you need to have a balance with free weights. So the last big mistake that I tend to notice, which I feel it's the worst, one of the worst ones, is trying to impress your surroundings. This one is really, really common. You know, it could be, well, I've seen it with all age groups, but I see it more with younger guys and women. But more specifically, I see it more with guys. And pretty much that's that they want to lift more than what they could, which leads to injury and leads to them having bad form, and they just look silly, you could say. And that's the thing, they do it because they want to challenge the person next to them, or they want to look badass in front of people at the gym. They want to look like, you know, yeah, you know, I'm coming in here and I'm the and all that. But really, nobody's paying attention. Nobody really cares. You know, everybody's there doing their own thing. They have their own struggles and their own challenges there. Why would they be paying attention to you? So you're really wasting your time if you're just there thinking about what others are thinking, or if they're actually looking at you. You know, a lot of guys, I see them, they want to lift as much weight as possible, whether it's because they want to look, you know, like they're challenging somebody nearby them, or they just want to look more badass than the people next to them, or because a woman passed by and they want to try to look more, you know, masculine next to them. But they're just going to look like idiots trying to lift more than what they really could, and they're just going to end up getting hurt or breaking their form, or they're going to need a spotter. So really, there's no point in that. Stop thinking about what other people think about you, okay? There's really no point in that. Everybody at the gym, whether you're a beginner or you're an expert, you're there to tackle your own goals. You're there to, relieve your own stresses. Sorry about that. The food came in and I had to open the door for that. But anyways, yeah, there's really no point about thinking about your surroundings or about what other people are thinking about you, because for the most part, they really aren't. So just don't waste your time on it. You're putting yourself at risk of getting hurt and just looking like an idiot in front of everybody. So that's when you will get the attention of other people, is if you look stupid trying to do something you can't. But if you're doing things good, you're doing everything right, then you're set. Really stop thinking about what other people think. Just look at yourself. What you think, what you're looking at the mirror, that's the only thing that should matter, not your surroundings. So yeah, those are pretty much a couple of the big mistakes that I noticed people make at the gym. I myself made a couple of these mistakes back when I started, and that's why I'm telling you to avoid them. It's not good, it's not worth it. But yeah, if you're a beginner watching this, good luck with your goals. Don't flake out. If you avoid all of these mistakes that I pointed out, you should be good. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.